Set it from the top. All right, here we go. Salute to NBA Nation on this Thursday afternoon. Another edition of the NBA Report. CP the Franchise here on the Solo Dolo, reacting to Game 3 of the NBA Finals, in which the Boston Celtics laid a smackdown on the Dallas Mavericks, man, 106-99. And although Mavs made it a valiant effort, it was the C's who put them away in crunch time and pulled within one game of banner number 18. So let's talk about it, man. Call me up, 657-383-1509, or you can hit me up on the NBA Report Discord. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. All right, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Happy Thursday. Real Rose, I see you in here. Salute. 106-99, the Celtics beat the Mavs in Game 3. And, you know, this game started off the way I expected it to. Mavs are down 2-0. Backs are against the wall. This is do or die. This is do or die game. Nobody comes back down 3-0. Rare. And the way the series was going, the Celtics were in full command and never relented. So this game really went the way I expected it to, in which the Mavs were going to come out guns blazing, gave the Celtics their best shot, took a commanding 13-point lead in the game, the largest lead in the finals. All the keys for the Mavs were there. Kyrie and Luka getting it going early, especially Kyrie getting it going early. Mavs were able to establish their bigs, getting a lot of points in the paint. Mavs in this game, I mean, the points in the paint discrepancy was major in their factor, 52-36. So they had a lot of nice things going in this game, especially early. But here's where things changed, because despite all of that 13-point lead, the score at the end of the first quarter was 31-30. And at that point, once I saw Boston start, and it's only the first quarter, but once I saw Boston start to settle down and get back into this thing and only be down by 1 point in the first, I said, all right, I think the C's are gonna take this. You go into halftime, 1 point lead for Dallas. But here is where things changed and where the C's blew this thing all the way open. In a third quarter, 35-19 Masterclass led by the Jays, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Boston shooting 13 of 20 in that quarter. 5 of 11 from downtown, 8 assists and no turnovers. 8 assists and no turnovers. It was a Celtics masterclass. And in halftime, when they had Joe Mazzulla mic'd up in the locker room, he chided his guys. He told them, he said, listen, we got to take this thing up another level. We're on the road. This is Game 3. We got to take this thing up another level to take this game. And they did just that. And before you knew it, 35-19, you had Jaylen Brown taking it all the way downtown with a ferocious dunk. We just showed the highlights there. Derek White with the top of the key three, prayer, bank shot. It was just one of those moments, man. And that third quarter is where I really felt like Boston, they snatched their hearts. They snatched the Mavericks' hearts. Yes, we're going to talk about the fourth quarter and a valiant comeback, but this thing was done to me in the third quarter when the Celtics just went on a complete masterclass. They were picking Luka Doncic apart, picking the Mavericks defense apart, and the Mavericks just showed zero effort, zero intensity there in that third quarter to make it respectable. But great job by the Celtics there in their execution. So now they're up. They go up by about 21 in the fourth quarter, and here comes the Mavs. Mavs start making it interesting. They cut the lead down. They're cutting it. Luka's making his moves. Kyrie's doing his thing. You had some nice putbacks there by Daniel Gafford. P.J. Washington making plays. They were making plays. Green making a big three there to cut the lead down. But here is my turning point of the game. My turning point in the game in the fourth quarter. It was about where was this play here? The fourth quarter. With about 4.5 minutes to go, Luka Doncic picks up his 5th foul on a hook on Jaylen Brown. And then 20 seconds later, he picks up foul number 6. Literally 27 seconds later, he picks up foul number 6 on Jaylen Brown, impeding his way on a fast break. Now he's looking at the bench. He's looking this with left, right, and center. Challenge the play, challenge the play. It was a bad challenge. You knew Jason Kidd was not going to get it. But it was interesting because when they did challenge it, I mean, the entire building was silent. I was silent because no one thought that this referee was going to foul out the franchise player in his own building. But Luka Doncic has no one else to blame but himself on this play. So he's got to be smarter. This is the NBA Finals. You got 5 fouls. What were you doing on that play there? You got to be more heads up. And that cost him. I thought that cost the Mavs a game. 4 minutes left. You're down by 3, and you lose your best player who didn't make a smart decision on the defensive end. Now, they were able to cut it to 1, but then you had the Jaylen Brown putback. And then right after that, this was another key sequence. P.J. Brown picks up an offensive foul on a screen on Jrue Holiday. And I thought that was a major, major play there. I didn't like the call. I thought that was a regular season call. I also didn't think, I was kind of surprised that in this game, Mavericks being home in a game 3, look, the refs did call it down the middle, but I figured that they would give the Mavs a little leeway here. I thought that they would give them a little bit of a break on some of these calls. They did not. They called this thing the way they wanted to call it. So they call the offensive foul on P.J. Washington. Jrue Holiday picks that up. And then the very next possession, offensive possession, Jrue Holiday with a sensational pass to Derek White, who knocks down a 3. That puts the Celtics up by 6, and that was it. That was it, man. So, great job by the Celtics. Closing, look, it's a game of runs. They had a 21-point lead. Mavs cut into it. They did play with some fire in the 4th, but the Celtics were able to execute down the stretch, and just not a lack of mental toughness by Luka Doncic and mental awareness, really, by Luka Doncic and the Mavs there in crunch time. And it was a little bit surprising for me because I felt like if the Mavs were able to keep any of these games close in the finals, I gave them the edge, the superstar edge. Having Kyrie Irving, having Luka Doncic, I gave the Mavs that edge. But it was all for naught here because, of all people, it's Luka Doncic who, not necessarily cost his team, but with 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter, you pick up your 6th foul. You did hurt your team there. He did. So that was it, man. 106-99. C's go up 3-0. This thing's about to be a wrap. Do they bring the brooms out on Friday? Tomorrow, we shall see. Do the Mavs muster up another effort here to bring this thing back to Boston where they could celebrate there? It's left to be determined, man. But all in all, this game was a disappointing one if you're a Mavs fan, for sure. Certainly disappointing. If you're a Celtics fan, hey, you got to be happy, man. You got 61 points from the 2 Jays. You had, Jaylen Brown with a excellent 4th quarter and second half overall, man. Jaylen Brown was great. At 24 points in the second half. Finishes with 30 points, 8 assists. 30 points, 8 assists, shot 12 of 22 from the field. Yeah, Jayson Tatum with 31 points, 5 assists, 6 boards, shot 11 of 26 from the field. But, hey, it was enough to get it done, and I thought Jayson Tatum made some really good plays and really good passes, man. His passes the entire series were just on the money, man. He was threading the needle on a lot of passes, especially in the second half of this game. But Boston got some first off, one big factor here is the threes, and it continued to play a factor in this series, with Boston outscoring the Mavs by 24 from 3. They shoot 17 of 20 of 46. Mavs shoot 9 of 25 from downtown. Tatum 4 for 13. Horford 2 for 5. Holiday 1 for 3. White 4 for 9. Brown 2 for 9. Not great. Tillman knocks down a shot. When Tillman hit his 3, I said, okay, this is done. And then you had Hauser 3 for 4. And when Boston's able to just say, all right, you guys made your run in the first quarter, a lot of that was Sam Hauser, man. Sam Hauser was in there just draining threes. Plus 16 on the night for Sam Hauser, plus 9 for Xavier Tillman. So they got contributions across the board. Everybody that came in the game, save for Peyton Pritchard, delivered for Boston. And when I talk about unsung heroes in this game, or not unsung heroes, but just role players that have really helped this Celtics team be the great team that it's been all year. And they've been a great team. All the naysayers about Boston, I think all that was ridiculous. The team won 64 games. They've won 10 straight playoff games. And they've been destroying everybody. But it's Jrue Holiday for me, man. It's Jrue Holiday. 9 points. If you're just a stat sheet watcher, you see 9 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. All right, yeah, he did all right. But if you watch the game, Jrue Holiday is the guy, man. He is the guy. Tatum and Brown are going to get their credit, and deservedly so. But Jrue Holiday in this game, the off-ball cutting, as I mentioned, draws the offensive foul on P.J. Washington, and then the next play, a sensational left-handed pass to Derek White on the money for 3. Game 1, he's got 26 points. I mean, Jrue, this is the upgrade that the Celtics needed over Marcus Smart. And I had somebody on Twitter try to debate with me that, Jrue Holiday for Marcus Smart was a lateral move. I said, what? we must not be watching the same players here. And that's no disrespect to Marcus Smart. His legacy in Boston is solidified. He played a great role for them. He was a good table setter for them. But this Celtics team getting Jrue Holiday, this is what's taking them over the top, in my opinion. Starts with his defense, never makes a bad play or mistake, and always seems to be in the right place at the right time. How many times is he finding holes? As soon as a Mav turns his head, Jrue Holiday's just finding a window, finding a lane, and getting to the basket. Who led the Celtics in offensive rebounds last night? Jrue Holiday with 3. So all those things matter. When you have your 2 stars, fine, but it's Jrue Holiday to me, who I always viewed him as the adult in the room. Not to say that Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, were inexperienced, but I felt like Jrue Holiday just puts that whole thing together where they can settle and be themselves, but he's still going to make big plays and step up for his team when they need it. So great job by Jrue Holiday. Great job by him. And then with the Celtics on the three-point attack, 46 attempts. Mavs only 25 attempts. And, the big criticism, the critique on the C's, with Joe Mazzulla especially, has always been, do they take too many threes? Well, during the post-game show, Jayson Tatum was asked about that, and he said, listen, it's not that we're just going to hunt threes all the time, but when you're able to space the floor around us with guys who, to a man, can shoot 40% from 3, we're going to take good shots. And that's what Joe Mazzulla, in one of the halftime, in one of the timeout sound bites to his team, he said, we have to continue to fight for good shots. And that's what you saw in this game, the entire game, and what you see in Boston's offense. Almost every possession for Boston, it's like 3 Celtics touching the ball. They're zipping the ball around, and they're finding the open man. How many threes did they take that were wide open? They rarely take contested threes. On the other hand, you have the Mavs, who are pounding the air out of the ball every possession. And that's why I felt like, especially early, when Boston's able to cut that lead down to 1 by the end of the first quarter, and then into the second quarter, it's tied 20-20. I said Boston's going to ultimately take this game. Because for the Mavs, every possession, they had to fight laboriously to get a shot. And it's mostly Luka and Kyrie finding their switches, getting the mismatch, and trying to exploit them. And when I say trying, hey, sometimes Luka had trouble getting over Sam Hauser, getting past Xavier Tillman. They had a key play in the fourth quarter. Xavier Tillman went step for step with him and challenged a shot and drew a miss. And Kyrie and Luka still got theirs. They combined for 62 points. So that's what the Mavs needed to at least have a shot. So they got that. But everything was a struggle for them to get. And give credit to Boston's defense. Jrue Holiday factor, Derek White. They got the best defensive backcourt in the league, all NBA defense. You have wings. You have big man depth. You know, Porzingis goes down. Porzingis is a story. He goes down, and they didn't miss a step, especially defensively. And we were waiting for, when they got Xavier Tillman at the trade deadline, I thought that was an underrated move. I thought that would add to their depth, and especially if and when Porzingis goes down. I say when because it's something that you can kind of expect. As a Knicks fan, you know that. As a Mavs fan, you know that. And now as a Celtics fan, you know that. Porzingis, his injury, not even going to say the name, but his injury is only one of 32 known cases, not in the league, in human history. So there's another setback for Porzingis. I don't think you see him back in this series, but he'll end up a champion and well-deserved. Good for him. Good for him. Not even going to hate on that. For the Mavs, my keys for the Mavs to come into this game to have a shot to win, first and foremost, Luka is the constant. You need Luka to be Luka. He had 27, 6, and 6. It was decent. He missed a lot of bunnies at the rim. 11 for 27 from the field, 1 for 7 from downtown. Wasn't the greatest, but I think they had enough from him. Kyrie, to me, had to set the tone early, and Kyrie did. I think he had about 15 points in the first quarter. Kyrie finished with 35 on 13 of 28 shooting. So they got that. I also wanted to see if and how they would get their bigs established again. Their bigs were a big part of them getting to the NBA Finals. And I thought they did a good job. They got some paint touches from the bigs. They got Lively involved. Gafford got involved. So it was a good job there. But Boston was just better, man. Boston was just better. And they could not defend the Celtics whatsoever. And a lot of that was Kyrie and Luka being the weak links in the Dallas defense. And the Celtics all series long has done a great job of exploiting them. Fantastic job. So Kyrie had 9 in the first quarter and finished with, in the first half, he finished with 20 in the first half. So he had 9 in the first quarter, 20 in the first half. So they got that. They got Luka with a decent offensive performance, but defensively they were woeful the entire night. And then also one of the Achilles heels here for the Mavs was just not enough firepower off the bench. PJ's PJ. He got 13 points. He's not off the bench. He's a starter, but I'm so from their supporting cast, rather. PJ 13, 3 for 9. Derrick Jones Jr., you're not really looking for much points from him. 1 for 2. Took 2 shots. On the bench, Kleber, useless in this series. 0 for 2. Got dominated on both ends this entire series. Timmy, 0 for 5. 0 for 5. 0 for 3 from downtown. Josh Green, 1 for 2. Exum, 1 for 1. He had the dunk. Everybody was going crazy, and Hardy had nothing. So they got nothing. They have no firepower from their supporting cast. So even though you had 62 combined for Kyrie and Luka, they just don't have enough to win the series. They had enough to win last night, but they don't have enough to win a series when Boston is going so deep, 1 through 7 or whatever their rotation is. Everybody's contributing. It's a tall order. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Shout out to Dylan. Salute to my guy Will Latimer's in here from KFTV. Will Rose, salute. Ghost. The One, how you feeling? 50th Burger, how you feeling? Salute, man. Shan BK says Kyrie too happy, needs to get angry. Yeah, Kyrie is on a different emotional plane right now. It's all love and everybody needs hugs and kisses and things. Da-da-da-da. All right, hey, maybe the Mavs fans are okay with that. I'm just saying. Maybe the Mavs fans are okay with that. I don't know. But hey, I thought he was great. And, look, the rest of the gang did not come with. But here was Luka Doncic on the fouls last night, on picking up his sixth foul in the game. Here's Luka at the podium. Let's react to it. There he is. What do we have? Oh, hang on. Let me unmute this.
They're going to challenge it. He has never fouled out of a playoff game. Only twice.
Oh, hang on. I got like multiple sound bites going there. All right, here's Luka after the game on fouling out, man. Fouling out. Here we go.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. Luka, what did you think of the whistles that went against you in the fourth quarter?
I mean, I don't know. We couldn't play physical, so I don't know. I don't want to say nothing, but, six foul in the NBA Finals, where I'm like this. Come on, man. Better than that.
I think there's half truth to it. Half truth. Like, I did see some calls in that game where I thought they missed calls on him. Foul calls where in a regular season game, Luka Doncic at home, I've seen him get respect on way lighter fouls. So I was surprised about that. It's game 3. You got a team on the brink of being swept at home, superstar player. I didn't think he really got much respect from the Zebras that you would normally see from a superstar. But the final 2 were on him. The final 2 fouls were on him. I didn't see any need for Jason Kidd to even challenge the 6th one. So, that's just on you as a superstar player. Hey, lesson learned here. You got to play smarter. You got to be better. And let's just keep it real, Let's just keep it real. His defense in this entire series has been woeful. I said that to Kmart Kenyon Martin after game 2. Hey, he's the NBA player. He's the NBA star. He tried to tell me he's given a valiant effort out there. I don't see it. He's leading the NBA playoffs in blow-bys percentage with 67%. Sitting duck. It's hard to win defensively when the best player on the team is the worst defender. How many NBA championships you see that from? You've got to be average at least or above average. Now, it's tough. It's tough to be a two-way player. I give credit to Jaylen Brown for taking on that challenge. He's been great. He's going to get the MVP. But for Luka, he's been a complete zero. And every time you see the Mavs in rotations, it's because at the point of attack, he's the matador. So that's tough, man. That's definitely tough. JJ says maybe Jokic. I think Jokic's defense is fine. He's not a lockdown defender by any stretch, but I don't think he's necessarily terrible. But at the same time, the Nuggets, at least last year's championship Nuggets, were a deeper team, had defenders all around them, where you can compensate. Mavs don't really have that. And we're gonna get into that a little bit more. We're gonna go a little bit deeper on that. So to everybody in the chat, once again, if you guys want to call up 657-383-1509, or you could hit me up on the NBA Report Discord. Make sure you guys are joining that NBA Report Discord, 24/7 NBA chat. Let's go ahead and get that going, get that established. Now, there's this whole talk about legacy, right? Because everybody wants to throw everything in a microwave. One game, you're the best thing ever. Next game, you're the worst thing ever. So let's talk about the legacy thing. And it's got to start with the two J's. The two guys that are on the verge of winning an NBA championship. You got Jaylen Brown, you got Tatum, who's 20, I believe he's 27. Let's take a look at that and be accurate here. You have Tatum, who is 26, Jaylen Brown, 27. You got these two guys in the prime of their career on the verge of winning a championship. Winning percentage with the Celtics is about 64 and 66% respectively. 64 and 66%. How many times have they been to the conference finals? They've been to the NBA finals already. Racking up Jaylen Brown, All-NBA, Eastern Conference MVP, 3-time All-Star. You have Tatum, 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, All-Rookie team. And yet and still, after last year's crazy series with the Miami Heat, you have people calling to break the team up. You had people calling to break the team up. I thought that was crazy. I'm a Knicks fan. I don't rock with Boston, but I like basketball. And what I admire about this Celtics team is that how many teams can go in and say, bro, we got 2 all-stars wings in their prime. And fans wanted to break it up. I get it. Some of the, the Celtics fans spoiled. Some of them are calling for them to break it up. Jaylen Brown, he's got no left hand. And Tatum, he's not this, he's not that. But I'm like, we got to slow it down here. How many teams would wish that they had 2 all-star wings to build around with their team? All they needed was to figure out the right combination of pieces to get them over the hump. This is a team that went to several Eastern Conference finals with these guys. All they needed was to figure out how to get over the hump and the right supporting cast to help them get there. Also, with their years and going through the trials and tribulations, you hope that they continue to elevate their game as players, and they have. Now they're sitting 1 game away from the NBA Finals. I think Jrue Holiday was really the big one. That was it. Because, after the Kyrie and Kemba factor, the talk was that, okay, they don't need a point guard in that vein. So they had to kind of figure it out. And after they lost to Golden State in the championship, I still felt like they needed an upgrade at the point. And it was nothing against Smart. They just needed something better. And that's why I say Jrue Holiday is the guy. He's been the guy. Then they put 3-point shooters around him. They have a guy with an unlimited motor in Derek White. And Mike Bree made a good comment in the broadcast. The stat going out that Derek White is one of the best shot blocking guards. No, he's one of the best shot blockers in the league. You ever see Derek White get tired out there in the court? That was another excellent acquisition. So you get the Horford factor, his veteran leadership and experience. He's been there before. Can space the floor for these guys. Show me the guy on the Boston starters who makes a bad mistake. Show me the weak link offensively. Yeah, defensively you can pick on Horford. He's older now. Sure. But after that, 1 through 4, they're picking up their guarding, and their defense is almost as equally as impressive as their offense to me at times. You even got Hauser and Pritchard out there giving it a good effort. Hauser had to guard Luka Doncic a lot of the night. So give credit to Brad Stevens, the front office. They put the right pieces around their stars who are now battle-tested and 1 game away. They are battle-tested and 1 game away, man. So that was fantastic. And here was the 2 Jays after the game on the naysayers and the doubters. I'm going to start with Jaylen Brown first. Here was Jaylen Brown at the podium. This is courtesy of Noah Dalzell, who does a great job covering the Celtics for Boston CLNS. Here's Jaylen Brown.
What's the difference between maybe in past years, you guys in the fourth quarter kind of going, uh-oh, here we go again, as opposed to you and Jayson going, okay, let's get this, let's make plays, let's be the heroes here?
I think experience is the best teacher. All year long, we've been hearing about the Celtics of the past. For the last 6 to 8 months, that's all we've been hearing is like all the different shortcomings we've had in the past. It's a new team. You know what I mean? We learned from those experiences, and in these moments, you could see that we didn't run from it. We stepped up to the plate and we found a way to win.
Experience is the best teacher, says Jaylen Brown, and they're showing it, man. I thought he was great, clutch, 24 points in that second half, and they're showing it. All the naysayers about him, he's got no left hand, he can't dribble, is this, is that. Listen, man, I look at a guy who got the bag and has continued to improve. That is a great sign. Usually you give these guys a max contract and they go sit back and relax. Nah, Jaylen Brown, he's hungry. He's a dog. Great qualities to have. I like what he's about. I like what he's becoming, and you got to respect that. So that was Jaylen Brown. Now this was Jayson Tatum on his criticisms, because the Tatum criticisms has been hang on one second. Salute everybody in the chat. The Tatum criticisms has been equally, if not more, ridiculous, especially in this playoffs. Here was Jayson Tatum on his criticism, and this is courtesy of NBA TV.
Well, we're in Boston? Damn.
Chuck, they're cheering for Tatum.
I know, but it's a lot of noise from Boston down here right now.
They travel deep.
Hey, Jason, it's been interesting watching these foods on television for recently, talking about who's the better player and Jayson Tatum this, Jayson Tatum that. Did that frustrate you? Because it makes me mad, because the most important thing is actually to win the game. And we always say we don't listen to television, but we lie, we do.
No, for sure.
Has it been frustrating for you, like, yo, man, let's just win the championship?
Frustrating, I don't know. Have I heard it? Absolutely. And early in your career, you get all the points and the stats and the individual awards, and then they say you haven't won, and now you're in a position, to win a championship.
Now they say you're not putting up numbers.
You're not scoring enough.
Welcome to the media, brother.
For sure. But like you said, it really just comes down to I've been here before, and I know what it feels like to lose, and I never want to feel like that again. And just doing whatever it takes to win the final.
That was Jayson Tatum, courtesy of NBA TV, and well said, man. Well said. We try to microwave this thing too much, especially when it comes to him. I mean, the conversation around Jayson Tatum in these playoffs has been mind-blowing. I don't understand what I'm listening to. Here's a guy who is making plays for his team, making the right plays for his team, passing the ball, and making his team better. Playing defense, making his team better. What are we missing here with Jayson Tatum? Why? Because he's not scoring 30 points a game like Jordan and LeBron and da-da-da. He doesn't need to. Look at his team. They are deep. They play defense. They shoot the three like none other. Why does Jayson Tatum need to do everything? To satisfy the image that everyone wants to place on him in order to justify the expectation that he needs to be in the top 5, legitimate top 5 or the Pantheon. He doesn't need to do that. Do I view him in that top 5 lens? No, not necessarily. Talent-wise, no, I don't. But at the end of the day, I think people are just strictly looking at shooting percentage and points and things of that nature to knock his accomplishment. Nah, I think it's utterly ridiculous. Now, last night he finished the game with, what did he finish the game with? 30 or 31 points. Let's double check that. He finished with 31 points. 11 to 26 shooting from the field. Now, he didn't shoot the ball all that well. But I still thought he made some excellent passes, which converted into assists. 5 assists for him. Rebounded the ball. Played defense. And got some timely buckets when his team needed him to. What more do you want? A championship. That's what the Celtics fans want. If I'm a Celtics fan, I couldn't care less. If he scored 8 points and we won the championship, I'm good with that. I am good with that. So he's doing everything that he needed to do. He had 7 points in that ferocious third quarter that Boston had. 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 4 from downtown. First quarter set the tone with 13 points, 4-7 shooting from the field. When Boston came back in the first quarter, there's Jayson Tatum. Big part of that. Now, and Khalid Pasha. Tatum leads all Celtics in every statistical category except points. Winning plays. That's what you want from your guy. You want winning plays. You want winning plays. Now, when they were in the finals against the Warriors, you needed more from him for them to have a chance. They choked in game 4. I thought he got outplayed. I didn't like his aggressiveness. I thought Wiggins kind of locked him up in games. Wiggins had a great series. So you did need more from Jayson Tatum in the finals when they lost to the Warriors and they came up short. You needed more from him. He didn't deliver. Now he doesn't have to do that. He's got help. And yes, now he's playing and he's still playing well. Well enough to win. So he's in a good spot, man. And boy, how the conversation around him is now going to change once he wins the ring. Because after tomorrow, if they win the ring tomorrow, it's going to go from playoff choker to, is he going to be the face of the league? Right? That's going to be the next dish that they throw in the microwave. Is he going to be the face of the league? So it's amazing how legacies and the narratives are going to change for both of these guys. Ten-game winning streak. 10-game winning streak in the NBA playoffs. I don't care who you play. That's phenomenal. You know, one of the knocks, they want to say they didn't play anybody, that this is that. Hey, listen. Doesn't matter, man. This was the best team all year. This was the best team all year. Now, could Denver have made it a much better series? Absolutely. They didn't make it. Their matchup, they choked in the Game 7 against the Timberwolves. They had a 20-point lead. And they did not match up well with the Timberwolves. Timberwolves did not match up well with the Mavs. That's it. Nostalgic Nick, is Brown on Team USA? No, he's not. But I think that'll be his next goal. You know, Jaylen Brown, he's ticking the boxes. He's like, yo, they didn't put me on all NBA defense. I'm coming for that. I'm coming for the Finals MVP. And then he's gonna make a case to be on the Olympic team next. But you know, they had to crowd it up. I mean, what is Kawhi Leonard doing on the Olympic team anyway? You know, and I'm not gonna go to Stephen A route and not Kawhi Leonard. But what is Kawhi Leonard doing on the Olympic team? The guy's got an arthritic knee. Can't stay healthy. Can't deliver for his team in the playoffs. And we're going to send him to Paris to represent Team USA. Hey, come back with the medal. But that's a waste of a spot. So, you know, this is the final curtain call for Team USA on the national stage for the big stars. For Steph, for LeBron, for KD. So they had to fill the roster spots with those guys. But I think Kawhi Leonard is not to say he's a bad player. Obviously not. Kawhi Leonard is still balling. But he's not healthy anymore, man. Hasn't done anything notable in years. So there's that. So there's a Celtics legacy play. There's a Celtics legacy play. Now, let's go on the Luka legacy play because like is getting a little bit ridiculous. Now, here's one from Brian Windhorse. This is from Windhorse. A lot of people love this one. They've thrown the ether beat and everything on this. A lot of people love this Luka critique here from Brian Windhorse. This is what Windhorse had to say about Luka Doncic and his effort and fouling out in game 3 here. Hang tight. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up on the feed, boys. Like, share, and subscribe. Here's Windhorse. Here we go.
I thought it was perfect that Luka fell onto the ground there in an unacceptable position to put himself in with 4 minutes left with 5 fouls, and then immediately looks at the bench and says, "You better bleeping challenge it," as if it's the bench's fault that he just made a terrible play. I'm standing here in the Mavericks tunnel. Over there is the Celtics tunnel. That's where the winners are. If Luka's ever going to be a winner coming out of this tunnel here, he is going to have to use what's happened in this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. The Celtics are attacking him. They are ahead in this series because they have attacked him defensively. And you've got a situation here where Luka is complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet. So maybe over the summer somebody will get to him because nobody with the Mavericks or anybody else in his life has. And that's where the Mavericks are at this point. They're never going to get to this tunnel with the trophy if he doesn't improve those aspects of his game.
What do you guys think about that? That was from Brian Windhorst of ESPN. Rate that. I got my worst take t-shirt on today because this is one of my favorite segments of the show. Ghost in the chat says he cooked Luka. What do you guys think? On a worst take meter, 1 to 10, 1 being a good take and 10 being like the worst take, I'm gonna give it a 5, only because yes, he's right that Luka's defense is an abomination. I think it's terrible. I think he's been the biggest weak link of the NBA Finals, and the Celtics were, lit up every time they see him. Every time they put him in actions, that was it. That was the guy that we were going to attack, and I thought overall it led to him wearing down later in games. So he's right. I also think he's right in that, this is not the regular season where you can afford to sit back and complain to the refs. How many times have we seen in these games, in these series, where if he doesn't get a call or he hits the deck, it takes like damn near 10 seconds before he's getting on the other side of the court to help his team. You can't do this. This is the NBA Finals, Game 3. Your team is down 2-0. You've got to get your head in the game. Those type of things check you out of games. So I do believe he's right in that regard. Stop complaining, man up, and play some defense. But to say that this is the reason why the Mavs are not going to win this series, or this is the reason why the Mavs are never going to win, when on the other side of the court, you're looking at a Celtics team where 1 through 6 on both ends of the floor, they're giving you problems. And you look at the Mavericks roster, and you're looking at Derrick Jones, you're looking at P.J. Washington, you're looking at a rookie Derek Lively. Look, those guys played commendable, but I also think they punched above their weight to help the Mavs get here. The teams are not equal. The teams aren't equal. So to say that, he's going to be the reason, if he doesn't shape up, he's going to be the reason why the Mavs never win, I disagree with that. They need a better team, overall team. But at the same time, he does have to play defense, man. As a superstar player, you got to play better defense than that. So that was Windhorst. A lot of people were on it. Ghost in the chat says, damn, he cooked Luka. Shrive says, ouch. JT Riddick, damn. John Valdez says he's right. Brandon Marcus agreed. 2 lifted, half right. That's why I say 5. He's half right. He's half right. Now, here was the other one that I want to get to, and this is from the volume in Colin Cowherd and Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum is often on this channel on the Combos Court. I like his takes, but here was Cowherd and Tatum, and let's react to this one.
I don't think he's easy. Your legacy is largely framed by finals and Western Conference finals. This is going to stick to him. Like, he was atrocious defensively in these finals, and that's going to stick. That's why I say my comp to him is he's a better Carmelo Anthony. I don't think he's in great shape. I don't think he's easy to play with. I don't think he's committed on the defensive end.
This is, again, something I love about NBA history. Every superstar we've seen has encountered their greatest weakness, their greatest vice, right? MJ and Kobe, it was, are they willing to trust their teammates when it matters, right? For LeBron, it was the jumper. You had to literally have Greg Popovich ignore him at the three-point line in 2008 and then again in 2013 before he conquered those demons and became the basketball player that he needed to be. Like even like Steph Curry and Nikola Jokic had to learn how to be better defensively. Luka Doncic has to take better care of his body so that he can hold up better physically over the course of an 82-game regular season and playoff run, so that he can do his job on offense while also being, at the very least, a functional part of the defense. He does not need to be all-world. He just needs to be better than this.
All right, so that was Jayson Tatum and Cowherd, courtesy of The Volume. What do you guys rate that on the worst take meter? 1 being a good take, fine. They're fine with that take. A 10 being this was atrocious. This was a terrible take. What do you guys rate that 1 to 10? Leave it in the chat. I'm gonna go on Cowherd's take. I think it's a 10. I think that's the worst take I've ever heard, because number one, Luka Doncic, he's 25. All this legacy. I mean, Al Horford has to worry about legacy. You know, these guys who didn't win championships until later in their career had to worry about legacy. David Robinson had to worry about legacy. Clyde Drexler had to worry about legacy. These guys who won later on, these legendary players who won later on in their career without rings. Karl Malone had to worry about that when he ring chased for the Lakers. Like, Luka Doncic is 25. He's in the prime of his career. So to say that this is a legacy hit is ridiculous. Was LeBron's loss to the Spurs a legacy hit? That just doesn't make sense. He's 25 years old. This is part of the process. As I said when I talked about the Windhorst soundbite, yes, he has some more maturing to do, but he also needs a better team around him. The Carmelo comparison is ridiculous. Carmelo's one of my favorite players to ever play the game. Luka Doncic damn near averaged a triple-double in this thing. Different players. Carmelo's an offensive weapon machine, a shooting machine, a scoring machine. Luka Doncic is much more well-rounded, especially on the offensive end. So that's not the comparison that you want to make here. And he's 25 years old. So that is beyond ridiculous. Now, Jason, I think, may have a bit better of a take here. I don't know what Luka Doncic's process is in terms of how he prepares for a season or what he does to prepare or how he gets through. So I can't necessarily say, well, he's right, he's not right, but maybe that's something that needs to be looked at. How he's taking care of himself to avoid these injuries. Is there a better middle ground in terms of his weight that will allow him to be a little bit more agile to keep up here and not be the sacrificial lamb on the defensive end? Maybe. So I think Jason has a better point here, and I would lean to agree with him. But Cowherd, I mean, you know, look, this is just Cowherd. He's just one of those guys, man. He's the king of the microwave take. When it's going good, you're the greatest ever. When it's going bad, you're the worst. This is gonna be a big knock. There's going to be a big knock on you, right? It wasn't a problem when they weren't supposed to beat the Clippers and they beat the Clippers. He was a great player when they weren't supposed to beat the Thunder and they beat the Thunder. He was a great player when they weren't supposed to beat the Timberwolves and they beat the Timberwolves. Now all of a sudden, this is a legacy hit. He's got to be careful. He's the Carmelo Anthony of players now. Knock it off. Come on now. Knock it off. Let me know your thoughts, man. Leave a comment in the chat. Leave a comment in this video if you're watching on Replay Gang. The worst take segment of Game 3 of the NBA Finals, man. Let me know what you guys think. Salute. Brandon Marcus says, Kyle, I'm bugging for that. Yeah, absolutely, man. No question there. So, that was that for Game 3. We got Game 4 tomorrow. We'll see what happens between the Celtics and the Mavs. We'll see if the Mavs have another one left in them, or are they just going to completely let go of the rope and the Celtics are going to celebrate on their home court? We'll see what happens there. You had a couple of former NBA greats in the building. You had Dirk, Steve Nash was in there, Emmitt Smith, NFL great, was in there. They brought the Mavs championship team in there, so they had some guys, but it was all for naught, man. It was all for naught. Other news around the league, rest in peace to the late, great Jerry West, man, a staple and icon of the league. The logo passed away, man. That was tragic to hear, super sad to hear about that. I'm part of the sports business classroom this year down at NBA Summer League. If you guys are going to be at Summer League, please pull up if you see me in the Thomas and Mack Center. But part of that, Jerry West was scheduled to speak to the students, and I was very much looking forward to being in that room. I'm going to be an instructor for the sports business classroom, but I was hoping to sit in on that Jerry West panel and really soak up game from the logo and hope to meet him, take a picture with him, shake his hand. So unfortunately, I was not able to do that. I admire the people who have over their journey, who had the opportunity. A lot of people in my circle, a lot of people I know were sharing stories, man. I was just digging into the stories yesterday and a lot of the images, the videos of Jerry West. We're going to do a Jerry West tribute show. I'm still looking for that ideal guest to do that. Me alone will not do that justice. So hopefully we'll be able to lock that in and book that soon. And hopefully you guys come back and tap into that episode, because we got to give the logo a proper tribute. I just can't do it any justice, man. But rest in peace to him. Salute to Laker Nation. The architect, Showtime Lakers, Shaq and Kobe Lakers, a champion in his own right for the Lakers. I mean, think about players who have come and gone here. Has anyone had the biggest impact on the game than West? Jordan, for sure, but in a different light, right? Jordan as a player, Jordan from marketing the league and bringing it out of the dark ages of the 80s, the 70s rather. And, they went to Larry and Magic in the 80s, and then Jordan just took it on a different stratosphere. But West as a player, as an all-time great player, and then one of the greatest executives in terms of winning championships, I'm not sure there's someone who's more impactful on the NBA itself. So there that is. Also in Laker news, you got JJ Redick now getting the interview for the Lakers coaching job. We'll dig into that some more probably tomorrow on tomorrow's show. That's going to be interesting. Danny Hurley saga, JJ Redick saga. Lakers can never let the Celtics just have their day. Every time, the Celtics are in the news, Lakers got to counter with something. I think it's interesting and petty at the same time. Hey, is JJ the guy here? That Laker job is, it's looking like a circus right now. But let's see what happens, man. And see how it all plays out. But anyway, great show, people. Great show. Salute to everybody in the chat. Shout out to, we did get a super chat in here, man. I want to make sure I'll salute this guy. Salute to the super chat. Salute to Terrence S. $5 super chat, man. Terrence, I appreciate the support. Make sure you guys tap in tomorrow night. NBA Finals post-game live. We'll recap Game 4 and see if the Celtics are able to wrap things up. And there it is, man. I'll let you guys get back to your Friday. Have a great day wherever you guys are watching from. Remember, man, like, share, subscribe. Support the Wave, man. For the fans, by the fans, Wave. Number one show for the fans, by the fans, absolutely. And make sure you guys are joining the NBA Report Discord. I'll put the link right there below, right next to the phone number to call in. So make sure you guys are joining the NBA Report Discord, and let's get that conversation going. Hit me up on Twitter, on Instagram, at CP The Franchise. No R. For the fans, by the fans, CP The Franchise. Great show, guys. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. J-Rose712, I see you. Michael Powell, I see you. Two Lifted. Muhammad Mustafa. Muhammad JJ in here. Salute to JJ. Rare Edition, I see you in here. No Cap. Appreciate you. Who else we got in here? Brandon Marcus, already shouted you out. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow, man. CP The Franchise. I'm out of here. Peace.